Good evening. Tonight we'll be speaking about the Ridgewood Towers fatality. I'd like to start off by introducing our team. Myself, Shamim, Luca, Katherine, and Dilshan. We've set this presentation up into 4 sections. We'll start off with the project facts. We'll move into the summary of issues, the root accident causes, and then the conclusion. So to begin with the project facts, when speaking about value and completion, Madison Realty Company provided $106 million in construction financing to ARC and AB Capstone for ground-up development. They've planned this since 2015, excavation began in 2019, and the project was set to be completed in 2023. However, as of 2022, it was announced that the DOB was encouraged to completely revoke the construction permit and move on to the total square footage. It's estimated that it'll be a 17-story rental tower located at 350 St. Nicholas Avenue in Ridgewood, Queens. It's yielding roughly 284,000 square feet with 130,000 square feet of retail space and roughly 133 rental apartments. As far as the awards and certifications, nothing was granted. There were no LEED certifications. And now I'd like to hand it over to my colleague Luca, who will speak about the next section.
So thanks, Agnesa. So what happened, how, and why? So what happened on this job site, and specifically how this happened? So on April 6, 2022, Holger Molino Pinos, a worker of 45 years old, fell approximately 20 feet in the basement below from an elevator shaft opening on the ground floor because he slipped on a beam, on a wood beam, while he was moving plywood boards. So unfortunately, he tragically died and left his family devastated. So this incident occurred to a non-union worker on a rainy day. So the question is, so why this happened? So we will see more in detail later in the root cause analysis, but it seems that the worker was not properly trained, was not able to identify potential hazards on the site, and did not receive the personal fall arrest system, the PFAS, needed to perform these jobs at height, or he didn't even wear at all. So a study in the class, fall are a major cause of injury and death in the construction industry, and it's one of the OSHA focus for. In particular, the elevator shaft should have guardrail, market barricade, and have a personal force system to prevent employees from falling into the shaft. So the responsible parties for this incident on this project are primarily the general contractor ABC Capstone Builder Corporation, and they were in partnership with the ARC Builders as a secondary general contractor. So those are the two main responsible parties. But in addition, we have the local agency, the federal agency, DOB, and OSHA. So DOB knew about these safety issues as found in some email and issued a stop work order, while OSHA, as mentioned in class, as like a weak entity, did not have any citation prior to this incident. So in the next slide, we are going to cover the contribution factor that happened on the job site. So the first item is the working condition. So the elevator shafts were not truly lit and protected by guard to prevent falls. Training, as mentioned before, the worker probably was not properly trained to identify potential hazard. PPE, worker did not wear the appropriate PPE to prevent falls, and one of the major issues that we found on our research reading the article are the recurring safety violations that happened on this job site prior to the incident. So the DOB ordered the construction to be stopped completely because of the failure to institute and maintain safety for prevention, as no guardrails were in place. As what type of OSHA issue, fine and citation, and DOB violation? We found that OSHA had only two investigations. One was for the death of the worker, and one was another citation after the fact. And we saw that there was no citation before, even though the DOP in the months leading the fatal incident issued a total 8 of violation. Regarding safety condition, as example, in February, a worker was hit with a fence gate. In March, another worker was injured due to poor safety condition. So the DOP issued a full stop work order after the death of Molino in 2022 April as a violation, and a violation report severity class 1 that is considered incident as aggravated offense level 2 for the maximum penalty of $25,000 to ABC Capstone Builders. Together with this violation, there was other violation that the DOP issued, and for a total penalty worth $55,000 in total. So I will pass now to Katherine for the next step.
Thank you, Luca. So for the next part, we're gonna cover the road accident causes, and I'm gonna cover the first part of the road accident causes. So before we address certain points that we believe that might be root causes of the accident, I want to mention that the incident was not related with any mechanical failure because there was no equipment involved, and also it was not related to structural defects because there was no structural failures, and also it was not related to emergency because the job was running perfectly fine in ordinary law under the ordinary law and regulation. So first one, we thought that the first road accident causes was lack of adherence to law and illegal. That is because even though Molino was working 20 feet above the ground, he did not receive any PFAS, which is personal fall arrest system that is needed to perform their job of the worker's job duties at certain height. As you can see in the picture, PFAS means a system that is used to arrest a worker in the situation that the person might fall from a working level. As you can see, it consists of an anchorage, connectors, a body belt or harness, and may include a lanyard like this or deceleration device, lifeline, or suitable combination of this. So as you can see in the picture, it will prevent the situation the worker might fall down to the ground and hurt badly or even to death. So, and also we focus on the fact that as we searched it on the website, it rained on April 6, 2022. On rainy days, people fall more easily. So without any protection, Molino fell down an elevator shaft after slipping on a beam, like we talked before, while moving a plywood board. And second road accident causes we focus is human error, because we found, according to the article that we found, the worker Molino was not properly trained for the job, and we thought that the training for the construction workers is responsibility for the employer. So when we say human error, it describes more the employer side who was responsible for the workers' training, not for the victim who was the obviously victim of this accident. So I'm gonna hand over to my colleague Dilshan, who will cover the second part of the road accident causes.
Thank you, Kat. Going on further on road accident causes, we found that the site did not have proper safety inspector to train the workers, conduct orientation, and to make sure that all safety measures were effectively taking place. Without somebody in charge to monitor the safety measures at a construction site, there's a high risk at all times for an incident to take place. As required by the DOB Chapter 33, 3310.5, one or more site safety managers shall be designated as necessary to monitor compliance with the site safety plan and all site safety requirements as specified in this chapter and rules promulgated by the Commissioner. Such site manager or managers shall be designated by the owner, agent, construction manager, or general contractor. End quote. In addition, DOB Chapter 33, 3310.5.2 requires the site safety manager or coordinator shall be present at the site during all times while active work is occurring. End quote. Next, the building site did not maintain the proper records of the site. This was revealed when DOB did the investigations on the site. It is important to keep the records required by Local Law Chapter 3301.7. This includes maintaining safety records such as site safety plans, fire safety and evacuation plans, tenant protection plans, occupant protection plans, or monitoring plans. Copies of such documents shall be maintained at the site for the duration of the job and made available to the Commissioner upon request. Last, with all of the previous violations and negligence at the site, the DOB and OSHA should have monitored the site more closely and severely, knowing that a bad incident could occur in the near future. Otherwise, they should have already issued a longer stop work order. Next, I'm going to pass on to Shamim to speak on conclusion.
Thank you, Dilshan. So right now I'm going to go over top things that we can conclude from this situations. So first thing, the tragic death of Holger Pinos emphasized the importance of safety measures at a construction site. The need to ensure the proper precaution are taken to protect the workers is very important. There were numerous violations that were issued in the month prior to the accident occurring, indicating the need to increase oversight and accountability in the construction industry. This is to prevent similar accidents from occurring in the future. Thirdly, the oppositions from local communities and leaders underscores the importance of engaging with the communities and addressing concerns to ensure safe and responsible development while addressing the concerns of the communities. Local leaders are outraged over the loss of a life at a construction work site, as reasonably they should be. That they are requesting or demanding, I would say, the action be taken from the DOB. DOB is there to ensure the safety of the public, and they should be held liable for this. Demand is to halt the constructions and ensure the workplace is safe and healthy for the worker to work at before coming back to work. The Ridgewood Tenant Union is leading the movement to shut down the constructions, and the union aims to have it properly transferred to the communities for the community to take over and handle it the way they see best fit. The family of the deceased workers supports the movement, and the family is demanding justice for the person to come alive, and as they should be. So going further, I'm going to provide you with some potential solution to avoid any fatalities and injuries from occurring again. Firstly, is to provide a regular safety training and refresher course for all workers. This will help the workers build the knowledge and skills to work at a safe workplace and be proactive. Secondly, is to implement strict safety protocols and procedure, including the use of personal protective equipment, as my colleague has previously stated before. Conduct a regular safety inspection to identify and address potential hazard before it happens. This will prevent any potential injuries or fatality from occurring again. You're to encourage workers to report safety violations and concern to the supervisor or safety. Workers should not be held in a bad way or be retaliated for reporting accidents. Develop and enforce strict guidelines for working at a height using heavy machinery and handling hazardous material. Fifthly is to implement technology such as drones, sensors, and wearables to monitor and improve on job site. This will alleviate and provide a safety workplace. Increase oversight and accountabilities in the construction industry through increased regulatory enforcement and penalty for safety violations. There should be a higher penalty for all the workers. As you can see, the construction company does not respond to violations very well. Encourage collaboration and communication among all stakeholders, including workers, contractors, and local communities, to identify and address potential safety issues before they become hazardous. And lastly, my favorite one, the most unique of all the solutions, is to have a VR training for all workers, simulating work-life situations where they're able to practice and learn how to handle safety protocols in a real life without the risk in a controlled environment. Now, I'm gonna show us, thank you for listening, and I'll go over our research that we did.